Hello, 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 hello. Okay, so now that we understand what a mixed number is and an improper fraction, today we're going to talk about adding mixed numbers. Okay, so let's title our page Adding Mixed Numbers. Okay. So when we are adding mixed numbers, the one thing that is really important to remember, if I have 3 2/5 plus 2 1/5, what it's really important to remember is that you always add your fractions first, because sometimes your fractions become improper fractions and we have to carry, and I'm going to show you how to do that at the end. So let's talk. So if I have 2/5 plus 1/5, that equals 3/5. And then I'm going to add my whole numbers. 3 plus 2 is 5. My answer is 5/5. Okay. Now there may be times where you have one such as 4 1/2 plus 2 that probably was 1/2. I don't like that one. So let's just do this. So I'm going to add my halves. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 2 halves. 4 plus 2 is 6. Now, my 2 halves, scratch this one. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to do that one. So let's do 4 3/5 plus 3/15 plus 6 2/15. Okay? So if I have 3 plus 2, it's 5/15. And we've learned how to add fractions. We know we just add the numerators, keep the denominator the same. So if I have 3/15 plus 2/15, and then I add my whole numbers, 4 plus 6 is 10. Well, this isn't quite done because I know 5/15 is not in simplest form. So I have to put that in simplest form. So I'm going to keep my 10 the same, but I'm going to divide both of these by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So now my final answer is 10 1/3. So you really do have to be careful of those fractions and make sure that's in simplest form also. Otherwise, you need to make sure it's into simplest form. Okay, so let's try this one. If I have 3 8/12 plus 2 2/12. I'm going to add my fractions up. 8 plus 2 is 10. 12 plus 12, or 12 stays the same because the parts are the same. 3 plus 2 is 5. So I have 5 10/12. Is this in simplest form? Hopefully you said no, because both 10 and 12 are even numbers, so they can both be divided by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 10/12 equals 5/6. So my final answer is going to be 5 5/6. And don't forget to square your answers, because if I see all this, I'm not going to know what your final answer is. Okay, so adding mixed numbers is pretty basic. It's the same as adding fractions. Just remember that the whole number of parts do not change. So that means your denominator stays 5. We do not add our denominator. Okay, so now let's talk about if we do have to carry with our fractions. So let's do, if I have 3 4/7 plus 3 5/7, I'm going to add this up. 4 plus 5 is 9 over my 7ths, right? Well, I know how to make a improper fraction into a mixed number now, right? So I'm going to divide it. Now at this point we've been practicing long enough, so if you can do it in your head, great, do it in your head, because I know 7 goes into 9 one time. And if I count up to 9, 7, 8, 9, I have 2 left over. So this becomes 1 2/7. Well, what I need to do is I'm going to cross off my old fraction. I'm going to take my whole number, and I'm going to carry it to the whole number side. And then I'm just going to keep my 2/7. That is now my new fraction, adding these together. And I'm going to carry my 1 over here. So now 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So my final answer is going to be 7, and I'm going to come over here and get that fraction, 7 2/7. So that's why we always start with the fraction part first, in case we need to carry it. So when you add it, if it is an improper fraction, you need to carry. Let's do another practice. So let's do 5 7/8 plus 6 5/8. Okay, 7 plus 5 is 12. I put that over my 8. Okay, it's an improper fraction, so I need to figure this out. Ooh, this is going to be a double stepper. And I didn't even plan that, but I'm glad it happened. So 8 goes into 12 one time. I have 4 left over. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to put my 4 as my numerator, keep my denominator the same. I have 1 4/8. Well, I know that this 1, my whole number, has to go over to my whole number side, so I'm going to carry it over there. Now, this 4/8 I know is not in simplest form because I know 4 is half of 8. So when we talked about this before, when we talked about simplest form, if the numerator is half of the denominator, it is equivalent to 1/2. So this 4/8 equals 1/2. So now this is going to become my new fraction. So now I got to add my whole numbers. 6 plus 5 is 11, plus 1 is 12. So my new answer is 12. Grab that fraction, and 1/2. So 5 7/8 plus 6 5/8 equals 12 1/2. Okay, I'm going to have you try one on your own and see how you do. For you guys, I would like you to do 6 3/5 plus 4 4/5. Okay, pause the video, work it out. Okay, welcome back. So 3/5 plus 4/5 equals 7/5. 7 is bigger than 5, so I know 5 goes into 7 one time. I have 2 left over. My 1, I'm going to put over with the whole numbers because it's a whole number. I'm going to keep the 2/5. That's my new fraction. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So I'm going to take my whole number, which is 11, and my fraction, which is 2/5. I now have 11 2/5 is my answer. Okay, one more practice for you. Let's do 8 12/13 plus 7 5/13. Okay, pause the video, figure that out. Okay, so 12 plus 5 is 17 over 13. Well, once again, 13 goes into 17 one time. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have 4 left over. So 4/13 is my new fraction. My 1 I'm going to put over with the whole numbers. To add those up, I'm going to actually add the 7 and the 1 to get 8, and 8 is 16. So my new numbers bring down my 16 as my whole number. Grab my fraction, and my answer is 16 4/13. Okay, so there you go for your adding mixed numbers. Okay, next time we'll be subtracting mixed numbers And then we're going to bring borrowing into that one. Oh boy. Okay, have a good afternoon. I don't remember if I gave you, see, this is my third video today. I don't think I gave you a keyword today. So if I already gave you one, you'll have 2 for today, but let's make today's keyword February. Okay, today's keyword is February. See you later.